Hello there guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Histon. And coming up in today's video, we've got the opening game of the season in the City tier of English football. Interesting though, we're in the Vanarama National League North, not the Vanarama National League South, as I mentioned in the last video. I thought, based on the geography of where we were in the country, we would be in the Vanarama National League South. But it turns out we ended up in the North. We're going to be up against teams like Boston United, Darlington, the team we're playing today, the team we knocked out in the FA Cup fourth qualifying round, and Salford City, FC United are in there, Kidderminster. Yeah, we're going to be up against some really interesting teams, especially on this side of this particular side of this tier of football. Other teams included also Blythe Spartans. That would be an interesting tie, considering they are a little FA Cup giant killing side as well. And also Lelujo's team from right at the start of his long league legend we'll be playing Gainsborough Trinity at some point during the season, so it'll be interesting to see how we match up against those. Before we get into the first game of the season, which is away at Darlington, let's take you through the transfers that's been happening through this club since the back end of last season and the start of this season. So I released a couple of players before the end of the season, or end of the previous season, primarily just to get the wages get them off the wage bill. Marshall Guttung had a good solid 3 years with us. He wasn't a high impact player, but he did provide and contribute when necessary, scoring 12 goals in 72 appearances for us throughout his career with Histon, before dropping down 2 divisions to play for Cambridge City. So he's playing for one of our rivals, but I'm hoping he has a good time right there and he can find himself much more first team opportunities at that club. Ryan Redding was a young player that we released. We didn't really think I was going to use him. He's now moved to Owlsley, who are also in the same division as Cambridge City. Danny Waldron, our captain from the last 2 years, he's now moved on. He's playing for Tadcaster, who are now in the Northern Premier First Division North. So he's dropped down into the 8th tier as well. So I'm hoping that he has towards the end. He's coming up towards the end of his career. He's 31 years of age. Maybe he can have a swan song season at Tadcaster, get them up into the next division. Steve Reed have also let go. He's gone to Sittingbourne on a free transfer. Couldn't see a future with him, actually, to be honest, because he was at times just he just didn't perform when he was called upon. So it's a disappointing thing. He had a pretty good career with us. He has been with us since the start of the save, all the way back in 2016-17, playing a grand total of 108 times for Histon over his career, scoring 9 goals, providing 17 assists. See off his rate, he was starting to improve as the years progressed, but then he had a down year. I think mainly because of the fact that he was displaced by Hogan Ephraim. So one of those things, I guess. And there was one player we had to get rid of. Another player that hasn't left us is Luke Harding, who's currently still a free agent right now, but he's wanted by quite a few clubs. So he probably will drop down into the same sort of tier as the four other players that have been released off our wage bill. We then move on to the transfers in towards the end of last season. That we started off with George Burns, a free transfer from Stafford, signing as a centre back, so a replacement for Luke Harding, and also an improvement on some of the other players we currently have. As you can see, he is better than Taylor McKenzie and Harry Osborne, which is fantastic. It says he's only very well suited to regional Premier Division football, but he says he has the potential to be a Vanarama North central defender in the future. He's not the best centre back we have. With this guy, we'll talk about in a minute. Moving on, then we picked up Matt J, who is a poacher and also attacking winger on the right hand side, so he can play in both those positions, which is good depth for that position. As you can see, he's got the same star rating as James Tiff, which is okay. Leading player for most regional Premier Division, so if he gets chances, he still will be able to score, I think, at this level. On the wing as well, he is behind a couple of players. He's the same rating as Hogan Ephraim, so we compete with the starting job with him. But also there's another guy as well, Sam Joel, who I'll be talking about in a bit as well. And then finally, this last signing we made before the end of last season was Joe Osler, who is a fullback at right back. He will be competing with it'll be competition for Steve Goddard at that right back position. As you can see, both at the same star rating. So I'm hoping if one of these players does go down, the other guy can step up and he can definitely provide us with the cover necessary. Especially that's been a problem with us for the past couple of seasons. When we were in the previous division, when we were settling ourselves down, well, as soon as we lost one of our key players, we kind of struggled with the depth. So I thought I'd address that at the end of last season. Then move on into this season. As you can see, quite a few players have gone out on frees or on loans. The big names that I have left on a free, Jordan Goff, lasted a couple of seasons, but I didn't think he was good enough based off his star rating for what we needed for the next season. I'm hoping he does find a club though in the future. He did have a good, nice little spell with Concord Rangers towards the end of his time with us. He was on loan at Concord Rangers. Jack Aldridge has also left the club, and he had a good end to his career with Histon. He's played for us since the first time we were in the, since we returned to the Southern Premier Division, playing a combined tally of 98 games for us, which is, I think, is pretty good, and his rating was fantastic as well. A lot of the fans said it wasn't a very good signing back in the day, but I think we proved them wrong by signing him, and he's done us a massive favour right there. And I'm hoping he does have a successful career elsewhere for the rest of his football career. He's currently 25. I'm sure he will find clubs. There is major interest from Gloucester to sign him. The big name that has left us though is Callum Frew. Now, to be honest, the board and the fans were very disappointed that I did let go of Callum Frew at the end, but I couldn't deal with the fact that he was getting sent off left, right and centre for the last couple of seasons. I thought I couldn't justify his wages. He was only playing 33 games a year when we really needed him to play at least 40. And especially the previous season, he's only made 23 appearances, which is a bit disappointing. Yes, his average rating was above a 7 for all 4 seasons, but I thought I could definitely get quite a few players based off his wage. Or a couple of players of similar quality for a cheaper price. So I think it was worth to take a risk to let him go and then try and bring in some new players that will fill the void right there. The fact that we brought in Callum Harris at the end of last season was better than Callum Frew. I think was a good indication that we could move on from him in the future. Phil Wolfe has also left on a free transfer. Couldn't really see a future with him. He did have a good couple of seasons with us prior to last year, but he only made 7 starts and he wasn't really fitting the team considering the midfield depth we started bringing in. We then lost a couple of players to free transfers who are on long contracts. Josh Ryder, one of our young goalkeepers, has moved to Bath City, who are in the Vanarama South, so we won't have to come up against them at least in this season. Declan Dalton's moved to Aldley, and Callum Marin, which is a bit disappointing to see Callum Marin leave. I thought he could have made it into the first team in the near future, but he's decided to get a full-time contract at Tilbury. So I think they are in the 9th tier of English football. I'm pretty sure, yes they are, Essex Senior. I'm pretty sure that is the 9th tier of English football, and I think he will get first team chances there. So I'm hoping he has a good time there. Maybe he comes back to us in the future, you never know. And we've got a couple of players out on loan, particularly Robert Lee and Adam Hamilton, who are 2 youth products that could be good in the future. Now, moving on to the transfers in, really quickly. Starting off with a lone player, Shane Lovell, the guy I mentioned before, on loan from Swindon, who are currently sitting in League 1. He's currently got a 3.5 star potential ability of 4 stars, possibly 5 if we can uncover that black star. But as you can see right there, he is clearly the best centre-back that we've got. Very well suited to Vanarama North football, and has the potential to be a Sky Bet League 2 such a defender in the future. So hoping we can aid his development here at Histon by giving him some first team football right here. I'm pretty sure, I don't think he was getting games at Swindon. No, he only came into the game at the end of 2018-2019. Made 5 appearances for Staines that season, but then didn't make a single appearance at all the previous season. So I'm hoping he does have a. We're going to give him some stuff. I think we're going to give him some first team experience for the first time for a good while. We then brought in Sam Joel, who is another player that I didn't mention before. Current ability 4 stars, potential ability 4 stars. So no real chance for growth. But as you can see, based off his value, he's a very good player. Winger, good player for most Vanarama North sides. He is better. He's also better than our current strikers. He's the best striker that we could possibly have at that position, which is fantastic. And he's the best attacking right midfielder. So we've got depth. He's very versatile, which is absolutely fantastic. And we definitely needed that to address that, especially in the division above. We then signed Luke Doby from Hamilton Waterlooville on a free, primarily as a depth centre midfielder. As you can see, he is the best midfielder. He's behind Alfie Davidson and Callum Harris in the pecking order, but I'm sure he will come in alongside Liam Thompson as that cover for that midfield role. I think he's probably on the same star rating as Callum Frew, but he's on £150 less than what Callum Frew was. So that's the reason why I was saying I could definitely get a player of a similar sort of value for a cheaper deal. He used to play for Hamilton Waterlooville for the past couple of seasons. Played in the Vanarama South, so he's very experienced at this sort of level. Not the greatest of ratings, but we never know. I think he might surprised if he does end up getting first team appearances. Then the next signing we brought in was William Gregory, who is a fullback on loan from Chesterfield, who are now a championship club, as you can see, getting back-to-back promotions right there. So a really good coup player. As you can see, 5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, way better than any other left back we currently have. Completely outclasses Kevin Carrillo based off the stats. He's very well suited to Vanarama National Football, which is the division above, and he's got the potential to be a Sky Bet League 2 left back in the future. So we're hoping that he can also develop like Lovell, which will be. It's good that we've got 2 strong defenders already, and he can also play attacking with left. And as you can see, he is a level with Justin May, which is really interesting, and also level with this guy, who's the last signing we brought in, which is Adijia Mbunga, who is a striker and also attacking mid-left winger, so a bit like Sam Joel, but on the opposite side of the pitch. 3.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, valued at £10,000, so he looks like he's a very good player. As you can see, he's got the same rating as Justin May, as mentioned before. And if he goes to the striker settings, he was primarily brought in as a striker, but the fact that he can play at winger is fantastic as well, in case Justin May does go down with injury. But as you can see, he is only half a star behind Sam Joel, and he's a star ahead of Matt Jay and James Difford. So I think he probably will be taking the starting job at the striker position at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see how this season is progressing. So those are the transfers. Let's see. I hope you guys like those. I hope those deals will come good for us as we come into the start of season number 5 of our Rebuilding Histon save. Starting off against Darlington 1883. You guys remember we did play them in a previous live com in the FA Cup. This time we're on equal terms. They came down into this division after being relegated last season. So level playing field, and I think they should be expected to win this game based off I would say form, but I'm hoping we can rectify that and we can provide another shock today. So here's the team we're going to go for today. Reece Bills in goal with Goddard, Lovell, our new centre back, alongside Taylor McKenzie, William Gregory at left back, the other signing. Luke Doby is playing at centre midfield role, ball-win midfield role, because Alfie Davidson is out injured. He is out returning to full training tomorrow though, which is crucial, so I think he'll be back for the next game, which is fantastic. He'll be alongside Callum Harris, with Sam Joel and Justin May on the wings, with James Difford alongside Mbunga up front, who will be playing out the advanced forward role. On the bench we've got Harry Osborne, Liam Tomzet, Matt Jay and Josh Green. I thought I'd bring these 2 strikers on the bench, because the fact that they can both play at the wing positions, depending on what happens, we may end up getting some if there's an injury happens or we need to bring in a player that's struggling on the wings, then we can do that. And we've got that little versatility now that we didn't have the last couple of seasons. And again, Luke Holcomb is going to be the backup goalkeeper at the moment. He is wanted by Salisbury though, so we're facing a bit of competition to keep him right now. But that's enough of me talking. Let's get on with the first game of the season. You guys have been waiting very patiently for this. A lot of players are lacking match sharpness, primarily because I was rotating the team quite considerably based off the friendlies. Let's hope that our team that we're bringing out today will be a winning team. As you can see, Darlington are favourites to win this game at evens, but it's 11-5 to draw and 11-5 for us to win. So this could be very interesting. Let's see if there's any team players that I recognise. I do recognise that Roman player from the last time we did play, and I think Rice as well is another player that I recognise from the last time we played them in the FA Cup. Let's just do our standard tactics though of closing down who we need to close down. The midfielders on the right and left. Those fullbacks might be quite interesting to look at as well. And also we've got to keep an eye on Declan Weeks and Jack Buchanan, just in case those guys are advanced playmakers or deep line playmakers or anything like that. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's get into the team talk. Let's give them a... let's go for that and see if that makes a difference. Only 2 players look motivated, but let's see if we can get increased motivation from the position team talks. And it seems like we've got a little bit about half and half in terms of good reactions, which is fantastic. Let's get into the game now, and let's see if we can kick off our first season back in the official FM leagues, the Vanarama National League North, with a positive result. You guys haven't actually seen me lose a game yet so far on the opening day of the season, but I probably have cursed myself here, but hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt us. We've got a corner though. Callum Harris with the ball in towards Gregory, but it's cleared away by the Darlington defenders. Goddard has lost the ball out to Rice though, and he's going to be on a break here, unless number 6 is going to be able to come back for us. I think that's Dobby. But he's taking a shot, but Bills is able to save it. Hasn't gone down as a clear-cut chance, and then Darlington have had the first shot of the game. And Gillies will think that's how you pronounce his name. He will put the ball in, but Joel was there to clear it out, and here's going kind of back to Sunderland, but Lovell's there to clear it back to Sunderland though, but that's the end of the highlights. Okay, a free kick for Darlington. Rice plays the ball to Roman, but it's cleared away by our defenders. Here's Coveney at the centre-back position for Darlington. Ball up towards Pratt though after exchange from Roman, and Pratt has scored, and it's 1-0 Darlington here. Harry Pratt, first goal of the season, and we are 1-0 down here. Not really getting into the game here, as you can see based on the stats. They've had 2 shots, 2 on target. One of them has resulted in a goal. Okay, here's the highlight. Roman with a ball towards Pratt, who is wide open and just takes a shot just inside the box. It's a good finish past Bills, but it's a bit of a disappointing goal to concede, and we are 1-0 down here with 20 minutes on the clock. Okay, we're coming up towards half time now. Just a minute of injury time here, as we have a couple of fouls that was taking place, which is why the game was extended a little bit longer. But yeah, there's half time. We have not been good enough based off the stats. We haven't had a single, or we had one highlight, but that resulted in the chance for Darlington. So I'm going to tell them off to see if that will prove some worth. I mean, Tanner McKenzie seems to be motivated, but that's mainly because he's the best rated outfield player on the pitch. Reece Bills has got the best rating overall. We may have to make a change, I think, up front, because Mbunga and James Clifford haven't really performed any things so far, and Mbunga is only at 83% condition, so we may have to bring Josh Green on or Matt J. We'll have to wait and see. We'll keep it as it is for now, but I might change the tactics in terms of mentality, and also make a change in terms of the personnel if things aren't going wrong. We're going to go on attacking now and see if that will change the dynamics of this game. Okay, a corner from Harris, which is gone and hit the crossbar. I don't know who headed that, but that was a good chance for us. But once again, we haven't had a shot on target until now. We've got another corner here from Harris. Ball in towards Dobie. He's managed to score. He's had a bit of a poor game, but he's managed to redeem himself, and has managed to put the ball in the back of the net. And it's now 1-1. His first goal for Histon since signing for us. It's one of the Davidsons that has made a mark. Harris with a nice corner in. Dobie's managed to jump in front of a couple of Darlington players who don't even make an attempt to head the ball, and it's now 1-1. Right, heading into the hour mark, I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to bring on Josh Green at the poacher role, because James Clifford hasn't really had the greatest of games. Maybe Josh Green can provide a little bit more of a threat going forward here today. Right, time for another change here. Nothing's really happening right now. In terms of who should we bring on now? Matt J could come on for Mbunga because he's lacking a bit of match sharpness. I think I will do that, and I will switch J and Green over and see if that will make a difference. Justin May is only on 76% conditioning. I'm probably going to make a substitution when it comes to the midfield next, because their conditioning is a little bit worse for wear. But we'll wait for a minute until there's a little bit more, in case an injury does happen to one of our players, we may have to make an enforced change. We're going to make another striker change, a positive change, to see if we can snatch a winner here against Darlington. Okay, a clearance has been made by Darlington. Gone back to Dobie though. Here's Joel. Might play Goddard in, which he has done. He might cross the ball here. He has done, and Josh Green is there. It is 2-1. Super sub Josh Green has now made it 2-1 to us, and it looks like we might be coming away with another victory. We're going to change the tactics here though. Oh, although the highlights now has interrupted that little plan of us. But Goddard with a nice ball in. Josh Green is there, unmarked, and he just slots it past the keeper. And it's now 2-1. We're going to make a change, though, in terms of tactics. But we have an instant highlight here. Ball towards Green on this left-hand side. He's lost out to White, who's playing right back for Darlington. McKenzie, please don't lose it. But he plays a safe option and plays it straight back to Bills, who will clear it upfield towards Jay. But it's one back by Ritson. But we've now got possession again in Darlington's half. Dobie, please don't lose the ball. Harris, ball up towards the right hand side, but Sutton's there to clear it. Lovell's managed to cut that out though, and we're now back in possession in the Darlington half. Dobie back to Harris to Jay. He might look out for Dobie. He's going back to Dobie though. Here's Harris, back to Jay. Ball in towards Green, taking a shot, hits the crossbar. Green's had another good chance, and that's actually gone down as a clear-cut chance. So the 2 goals that we've had didn't go down as clear-cut chances. I don't know what's going on there in terms of the FM's decision when it comes to clear-cut chances, but I think we should have really had a clear-cut chance before when we scored the second goal. We are going to make a change though with less than 10 minutes range just to get some fresh legs on the pitch. Callum Harris has had a stellar game, but I don't know who to bring off though, because if I get rid of one of them, then maybe that will result in us conceding another goal. But I don't want to have his condition go any worse. I think 67% is starting to get a little bit concerning. So I'm going to bring on Liam Tomzet for not 8 minutes. Let's see if we can hold on. But we've got an instant highlight here. Durl a ball up towards Pratt. Please don't screw us over here. But Gregory's there to sweep up, which is fantastic. And Bills clears it away. Only to Sudman though, who plays the ball up towards the Darlington strikers. But once again, Bills is able to hold on to it. And he will now look for someone, probably Justin May. He's in a little bit of space, but he's decided to look right, up towards Matt Jay. But ball's now been played towards Jay, though he's managed to win it back. A ball in towards Green. He's hit the shot, he's got the rebound though. And the first shot hit straight at the keeper, but he's been able to tap in the rebound. And it's now 3-1. Josh Green has scored his second goal of the game here. What a super substitution made by us to turn the tide of this match. Jay with a nice little headed ball in. Josh Green heads it straight at the keeper. Then is alert to the rebound and has put his second goal into the back. The second opportunity into the back of the net, and it's now 3-1. Surely we can't throw this away now with less than 5 minutes to play. Ball up towards Pratt, but it's won well by Mackenzie. Gillis on this right hand side plays up towards Pratt, but Bills is there to cover before the striker for Darlington can get on to the end of that, and Bills will now clear it away up towards Green. Coveney then clears it away. Tomzet up to May on this left hand side, who's trying to get past White, but unfortunately he's unable to do so. Pratt's trying to get on the end of that for Darlington. Mackenzie then just mops up, and Bills clears away again. And Tomzet's now on the ball. Ball up towards Green. He's on a hat trick here. Takes a shot. It's blocked though by the Darlington defenders. That's gone down as a fourth clear cut chance though. Don't know how that's a clear cut chance when it was blocked, but I guess it has gone down as a clear-cut chance, but Durl is now going to clear it away. Oh no, Goddard's now picked up a knock with less than 4 minutes to, or 4.5 minutes remaining. We have to keep him on the pitch, unfortunately, though. This is what I was saying, though, right at the start of the episode about squad depth. We need that depth in case an injury does come up. And Gillis now played the ball to Weeks here. Back to Gillis. There's a chance for Pratt here. Takes a shot, and it's 3-2 here with less than 2 minutes remaining. Harry Pratt with a second goal of the game. Please don't, not like this, please. Do not screw us over here, game. Just because of the fact we've got an injured player. Gillis with the ball to Pratt. Looks suspicious of offside there, but the flag didn't get raised, and it's now 3-2 with just a minute or so remaining. I don't want to take off Steve Goddard, otherwise that means we have an exposed right flank at the end of the game. But we'll have to wait and see. We may have to take him off if it gets any worse. Entering into stoppage time now as Shane Lovell picks up a yellow card. 90 seconds remaining. We've got a highlight at the end of the near the Darlington end. Weeks the ball up towards the strikers again, but here's Doby back to Tomzet, who's given it away though. And here's Pratt, ball up towards the right hand side of to Rice, but Goddard can please get that tackle, and yes he has done. Despite the injury, he's managed to get the ball away, but unfortunately it's now going to come back at us here. O'Donnell to Weeks, back to Rice. Goddard's managed to win it back though. Fantastic work by him. That was what I was saying, to keep him onto the pitch, because otherwise there's an opportunity for Darlington to expose that their left hand side, but our right flank, if we're looking at it from our perspective. Ball played towards Pratt. A mistake though from one of our defenders, but Gillis has completely wasted the chance. That was a real let-off for us, and it could have easily been 3-3, but we've somehow come out of this game with a 3-2 win. Based on the stats though, we deserve to win the game. And it was a really, really fantastic result from us, especially after being 1-0 down at half-time. Really, really positive reaction from the players right there to get a positive result to start the season. As you can see, currently sitting in 4th place, just 1 game into the season though. So, long way to go, but this will be ideal if we somehow get into the playoffs. The board's expecting us to avoid relegation this season. I picked the lowest objectives again, just to make sure that we maintain our spot at this club. We should be able to do that. But look at that, we've got only 2 days rest before our next match, which is home to Tamworth. Not a very quick turnaround for us, unfortunately, but one of those things, I guess, as we now go on to the mail. There's probably an injury for Goddard, or maybe an interesting development for Goddard. He has picked up a thigh strain. He's out for 8 days to 2 weeks. I'm going to leave him to the physio because I don't really want to waste money on an injection, because he's probably going to be out for the next couple of games. But yeah, that's a fantastic result to start the season. The beaten streak on the start of the season continues, and we start off the season brightly. Right, sorry there, had accidentally hiccups right there. Now, in terms of what game we're going to do next, I'm tempted to do this Boston United game just so we can get a good chunk of the season done, and we start September with a away trip against one of the more renowned teams in this division. I mean, teams like Kidderminster are also known, particularly to to those who know non-league football. But I'm going to go with Boston United because it then just gives us a good 6 or 7, or is it 6 games or so? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 games before our next match. So get a good bit of a chunk of the season done, and then we'll be able to go on to play Boston United. So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, the start of the new season. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next episode, which will be away at Boston United. So until then, see you later.